Yeah, we are back. It is your AEW Dynamite post show for Wednesday, September 15th. Tonight, Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega. Adam Cole makes his AEW debut. And Suzuki-gun Ichiban. Ooh, Johnny. We're back. What's happening?
So, first off, let's start off with how was the vacation?
It was good. Good vacation. I'm ready to be back in full effect with the Ringside Report Network. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I know we're back earlier than we thought we would be. I thought the return show would be Friday, but it is tonight. I was itching to get back, so we are back. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Do all the things. Become a member. Shout out to the members. I see Franco 316. I see Doug Hepburn. We are back here tonight.
We're back, baby.
And I'm pretty excited about everything going on in professional wrestling. I got to say, I took a vacation at the worst possible time, right? I leave, the next day everything blows up in professional wrestling. Bryan Danielson in AEW. Adam Cole in AEW. Ruby Soho in AEW. Somebody else, right? Wasn't there somebody else? I don't know. Big E.
I mean, Suzuki, right?
Suzuki is in AEW. Whoa!
And there's noises.
There's noises. There's all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of excitement. Thank you, Derek John. Appreciate you. Member of the team. It's just so exciting. Big E is the WWE champion. I mean, this is what I wanted. This is what I've been wanting to see for a very long time. So I'm very excited about the prospects of professional wrestling. I feel like maybe we are about to experience another professional wrestling boom, and I'm very excited about it. So we are back from vacation, and I am hyped to be back because I don't remember a time when pro wrestling was this exciting. We just watched a 2-hour professional wrestling show that featured Bryan Danielson challenging Kenny Omega to a match, and a match being set up. Whoa. A match being set up for CM Punk. I don't know. We're getting groovy here. We're getting a little hippy-dippy. I don't know what's happening exactly. I think the production team is trying to make some adjustments on the lighting, and it's getting a little weird.
Yeah, groovy, like you said, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Psychedelic.
I look a little pale. I'm looking a little white.
Open the doors
Look at me.
of perception.
I look like a goddamn ghost right now. What's happening?
Got too much sun on that vacation, I guess.
Yeah, I guess the team can't adjust with my tan or something. I don't know.
Whoa.
Whoa, it's happening again. Ah! What is happening?
So it's part of our Halloween special.
We should do that for Halloween. I think we had it good a second ago, but now I feel like I'm still.
It's a bit of a soft focus.
You're extremely bright.
Yeah, can we get it?
It's like a Barbara Walters interview.
Yeah, that's good. That's good right there. Right there. Stop.
Yeah, that's good.
Stop. Good. We look good now? How do I look, John?
How my hair look?
Fine.
Man? How my hair
Yeah.
look, man?
You look good, girl.
You're not as colorful anymore, but that's probably a good thing.